adorable 2.5D open-world pirate adventure where you sail the seas as a privateer hunting treasure, fighting pirates, and taking down the Pirate King in a world full of punny cats. The colorful cartoon style looks vibrant and the controls feel snappy even on Intel HD. At just 4GB RAM and modest specs, it runs locked 60 FPS with zero issues. The exploration and light RPG elements make it super charming for short bursts. Reviews sit at a strong 94%, but some players wish the story was longer and the combat had a bit more depth. Still a delightful low-end gem that's Steam Deck verified and perfect for relaxing pirate cat shenanigans in 2026. Blood and Bacon, where you and up to 5 friends blast through 100+ levels of insane undead pigs and bosses in pure horde mode madness. The humor and gore are over-the-top hilarious, and it runs on ancient hardware, 600 megabytes RAM and integrated graphics from 2016. At just 99 cents, it's the cheapest gem here. 96% overwhelmingly positive with 13,000 reviews proves its legendary status. The only minor downside is the Steam Deck is unsupported, but on PC it flies. Pure low-end co-op perfection.
Content warning: a co-op horror comedy where you and friends dive into the old world with a camera to film monsters and cursed relics, hoping to go viral online. The physics-based scares and ASCII face customizer create non-stop hilarious moments, and the 93% rating from over 32,000 reviews shows how massively popular it still is in 2026. It runs surprisingly decent on low end after optimization, but the recommended GTX 1050 Ti means you might need to drop settings for stable frames on Intel HD. The co-op chaos is pure gold. Recent reviews remain very positive, and it's cheap on sale. A must for groups, but the specs hold it back from climbing higher here. Carrion, the reverse horror masterpiece where you are the giant amorphous monster breaking out of a prison, consuming humans, and evolving devastating abilities in a Metroidvania-style lab. The gore and power fantasy feel insanely satisfying, and it runs at locked 60 FPS on basically any low-end machine thanks to its tiny 500 megabyte size and OpenGL requirements. 94% very positive from thousands of reviews proves how unique it is. The atmosphere and sound design are top-notch. The only downside is that the horror elements might be too intense for some. An absolute must-play that still feels fresh in 2026 on Intel HD. Custodian, where you play a mischievous cat named Pluto, cleaning up the afterlife, battling beasts, and exploring a huge interconnected world full of ghosts and puzzles. The hand-drawn art is gorgeous, yet super light on resources. It runs perfectly on old integrated graphics with just 4GB RAM. The 97% overwhelmingly positive score and exploration freedom make it feel premium. Combat and platforming are tight and satisfying. Some players wish the map was a little clearer early on, but the overall package is fantastic. Steam Deck playable and a hidden gem that deserves way more attention on low-end PCs.
A V-Assembly, an early access open-world flight sim where you literally build your own airplane piece by piece, complete missions to earn cash, upgrade it, and explore a huge map. The physics and building freedom are incredibly satisfying, and the 96% overwhelmingly positive rating with strong recent reviews proves players are hooked. Unfortunately, it does ask for a GTX 970 level card, so it won't run as smoothly on pure Intel HD without tweaks, which is why it sits here instead of higher. Once you get it running, though, the sense of freedom is unmatched. Tiny 300 megabyte install and Steam Deck playable. Great for tinkerers, but the hardware ask keeps it out of the top low-end tier. Castle Crashers, where you hack, slash, and smash through colorful levels with up to 3 friends to rescue princesses and crash castles. The hand-drawn art still looks fantastic, and the gameplay is endlessly replayable. It runs great on low-end setups despite the age. 97% overwhelmingly positive from over 44,000 reviews proves it's a timeless classic. The DLC adds even more fun. Minortron, older engine means occasional small glitches, but nothing game-breaking. Pure multiplayer joy on any Intel HD machine. Celeste,
the precision platformer where you help Madeline climb a deadly mountain while facing her inner demons. The pixel art is breathtaking, the soundtrack is iconic, and the gameplay is some of the tightest ever made. Yet it runs perfectly smooth at 60 FPS on Intel HD 4000 with only 2 GB of RAM. Over 57,000 reviews at 97% overwhelmingly positive, plus countless awards, make it a legend. Assist modes let anyone finish it, but the optional super hard content keeps experts hooked for hundreds of hours. Zero cons on low-end hardware. This is the gold standard of what indie games can do in 2026. Absolute must-play.
Bounty of One, a fast-paced Wild West roguelite bullet hell survivor where you dash, shoot, and upgrade through endless waves of bounty hunters and necromancers, either solo or with up to 3 buddies locally or online. The upgrade loops feel addictive right away, and the pixel western art pops nicely without taxing your hardware at all. It runs flawlessly on 4 GB RAM setups with integrated graphics, and the 3 GB install is tiny. Co-op makes it way more chaotic and fun, especially when everyone has different skills. However, the 88% rating shows some players burn out after the initial dopamine rush because runs can feel samey without enough variety in later waves. Recent reviews have cooled a bit too. Still a fun, quick session pick for low-end machines and Steam Deck verified if you want portable Wild West mayhem. Carry the Glass, a super unique co-op puzzle where you and a friend play as construction workers hauling one giant fragile glass window through colorful obstacle courses full of spinning blades, moving platforms, and tight jumps. The teamwork and constant communication turn every level into hilarious chaos when the glass inevitably shatters. It uses almost no resources, so it flies at 60 FPS even on the weakest Intel HD chips with room to spare. The bright cartoon art looks surprisingly crisp, and the download is tiny at just 650 megabytes. On the flip side, the single-player mode feels empty and repetitive after a couple of runs, and recent reviews have dipped into mixed territory because some levels punish tiny mistakes too harshly. Still, at under $5, it's a cheap laugh riot for couch co-op nights or online with friends. Steam Deck playable too, so you can take the madness anywhere.